Hello YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Southern Sophist, aka Audrey, and that little noise you hear in the background is my daughter. So she is my little guest on here today, so if y'all hear her talking, just pay it no mind. Anyway, if you clicked on this video, obviously you're very curious as to what are some of the top things I think you should do before and after you have a baby. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet as I possibly can. Won't do much rambling. We're going to jump straight into it because I have a lot to cover. It's hot in here, y'all, so I have my fan going. Also, I'm just giving y'all realness today. So the top 5 things you should do before you actually give birth. Number one is make sure you are registered at the hospital. Whatever hospital you're giving birth at, just make sure you have signed up and you've registered, giving them your personal information as well as your insurance information, just because it cuts down the time tremendously. The last thing you want to do when you go in the hospital to have your baby is to have to sit down and do a whole bunch of paperwork, have them run your insurance, baby, because when those contractions start hitting, it's real. Also, filling out that paperwork, it'll give you an estimate of how much it'll cost to pay out of pocket with your insurance. So it's just really helpful in multiple areas. So yeah, go ahead, get that filled out, register for your labor and delivery, and you'll be good to go. The second thing you should do before you actually go in and have your baby is make sure you have found a pediatrician and that you have notified the hospital of the pediatrician's information. I cannot stress this enough. Most pediatricians, especially the good pediatricians, are booked out months in advance. So it's really important that you call and you go ahead and sign your baby up. Even if they're not here, you go ahead and give them the estimated due date and they'll go ahead and have a doctor assigned to you or a pediatrician assigned to you. The third thing you want to do is make sure you do a tour of the hospital. So I know right now we're still in a pandemic and it's COVID, so a lot of hospitals are scrapping the tours, but you can at least do a virtual tour. And if you have questions, I think you can call up to the hospital and talk to someone who's a representative of the hospital. But you definitely want to tour the facilities for multiple reasons. You definitely want to make sure you understand what they offer into the rooms. You want to know if there's an extra bed in there for your spouse or whoever your support person is. Just make sure you have a clear understanding of what you're getting yourself into when you go into the hospital, just because that'll determine some of the things you need to put in your bag when you check in. So tour the hospital, ask questions, ask them, do they have tools that will help you get through the pregnancy, like birthing balls, things that hook up to the bed, all that stuff. If you guys want more details about some of those items, let me know. I can either write them down in the description bar or do a whole video related to that. But number 4 thing that I think you should definitely do, and this is something that was new to me, I never really heard anyone in my circle at least speak about it, but get you a chiropractor. Try to get a chiropractor in the last trimester of your pregnancy. The reason why chiropractors are really important for prenatal is because it really does help align the body and the pelvic area to prepare you for natural birth. So definitely, if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to, even if you're getting medication like epidurals and stuff like that, if you're going to have a vaginal birth, it's very helpful to go see a chiropractor to just make sure you're aligned. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, baby, going to see a chiropractor, she just helped a lot with some of the pains that I had in my personal area, in my legs and in my arms and stuff like that. So it's just really helpful to see a chiropractor. Make sure you find someone that is Webster certified. Webster is the program in which they teach for pregnant women to chiropractors. So the next thing on my list that you definitely want to make sure you do is, if you have insurance, of course, go through your insurance and see if they offer a free breast pump. Most insurance companies do. And if yours does offer a free breast pump, definitely go ahead and register for your free breast pump. I think you can do it a couple of months in advance. Definitely go ahead and do it because they'll send it to you a couple of weeks prior to you giving birth. You want to go ahead and get that out of the way because you will forget. So definitely go ahead and sign up. You can sign up whenever, and then if you tell them your due date, they'll ship it around the time of the due date. Last thing I would say, it's important to do if you decide to do this. Of course, it's completely optional, so this is why it's last. But if you decide to do cord blood banking, like basically taking the umbilical cord and the cells from the umbilical cord and storing it for future if your child needs it, definitely go ahead and pre-register for that as well. You can get the information, I believe, from your doctor about the cord blood process. I didn't do it myself, but you can. That is an option out there that you can do. Go ahead and have that registered, so then that way when you go check into the hospital, it's not a hassle trying to get all that squared away when it's time to so yeah, those are, I would say, the top 5 important things that I felt like were helpful before I went into labor. Now, after I had her, there are a few things that were absolutely critical that needed to be done. Some of them I almost missed doing because no one informed me, and of course, me being a first-time mother, I was just like, I didn't know that. So I'm definitely going to inform you guys because it might be helpful to at least one person, right? So the first thing you should do right after you have your baby and you're settled and so forth, not at home but in the hospital, is make sure you get a copy of the birth certificate, because they will have a representative come in and make sure the information is correct for the birth certificate. But right after they do that, they don't necessarily get an official copy to you, at least in the state of Texas they don't. I don't know about other states. But verify, either they're going to send you official birth certificate. If not, ask them about the information around retrieving the official copy of the birth certificate. In the state of Texas, you have to actually go online and pay a fee and order the birth certificate. So if that is something that you have to do for your state, do it before you leave the hospital. Trust me, okay? It takes a really long time to get the official birth certificate, so you want to do that as soon as possible, so you'll have that information in your household, okay? Make sure you also understand the timeline in which it'll take to get the Social Security number for your child. You want to make sure you get that Social Security number, and then once you get it, you lock down the Social Security number, because fraud is real. So make sure that you understand the timeline in which you'll get the Social Security number card, so you can be looking out for it. And then right after you get it, go ahead and lock it down. All right, the next thing you should do, and you can do this either right after you leave the hospital or right before you leave the hospital, is to contact your employer, especially if you have insurance through your employer or your spouse, whoever has the insurance that will cover your child. Definitely go ahead and contact your employer, and then also contact your insurance company to inform them that you have brought a life into this world and that he or she needs to be added to your insurance. This is absolutely critical, okay? Because I almost made this mistake as well. Most insurance companies give you 30 to 31 days to add your child to your insurance once they're born. After the 31 days, it is absolutely difficult to get them on the insurance. So you want to make sure that once your child is here, that you go ahead and call your job to let them know, and then also call your insurance to let them know, so everybody can work together to get your baby added to the insurance. Number 3 that you should do once you're at home and you're settled is to go ahead and update your will and your life insurance policy, okay? Especially if you're a single parent, if you're not married or anything like that, make sure that your will has your baby covered, and then also that the information as far as who's the receiver of that policy, make sure the baby is added to that as well. Like, you just want to make sure all that information is squared away, but you want to make sure your will is updated and the life insurance policy information is updated as well. So again, once you're in the house, get all that squared away. Don't wait. Don't wait till the last minute, because you just don't know. Get it all squared away. The next thing you should do, right, now that you've had your baby, check back in with the pediatrician. You have to do a 2-week appointment with your baby, a 1-month appointment, and a 2-month appointment after they're born. So you want to go ahead and call the pediatrician and set up those appointments, so then that way you're not stuck and waiting, especially if they're a busy pediatrician. Go ahead and get the baby registered and set up for those 3 appointments if possible. Some places will not allow you to do all 3, but at least if you can do the 2-week appointment and then set up each one as you go in, that'll be fine as well. But you definitely want to call a pediatrician and set up an appointment shortly after leaving the hospital. The last thing I think is important as well, because I know we're in COVID. A lot of times in the hospital, pre-COVID, they would do newborn pictures for you in the hospital, but they're not doing that anymore. So if you do want to do some newborn photography, y'all seen the cute photos out there with the baby sitting like this in a bucket and all that stuff. Those photos have to be done in a certain time frame. A lot of photographers will not take those photos, I believe, after 4 weeks. I want to say 4 to 5 weeks. So you want to go ahead and find a photographer, a newborn photographer, that'll take the photos for you, or set it up yourself, whichever. You want to do that as soon as possible when the baby is sleeping and they're not super fussy. So go ahead and find you a photographer and get that appointment scheduled, so you can have some lasting memories of your little baby. I think that was the list of the top 10 things that I felt like were really helpful for me, really important to get done before and after I had my daughter. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing, but if you guys have any, let me know. Comment down in the comment section if you thought of any that I didn't cover here, or if you have any questions. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, feel free to go ahead and write those down in the comment section and I'll be sure to respond. So yeah, that's the video. Hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. Hopefully this information was beneficial to someone. I really do appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you'd like to see more content like this, definitely hit the thumbs up button, and then also do not forget to subscribe before you leave. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, wherever you are. And obviously my little one is having a good time back here, so she says hi also. But anyway, until next time, love you guys. Bye.